The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, the roof is the most important part of your home, but who do you call when you have roof issues? It's just ahead. Also, I am so bullish on this market right now. Florida's having a rebirth. It's just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate.
Your debt does not have to control your life. You have the power to potentially lower or even eliminate your debt. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your home, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses, all from your living room, with my attorney advice throughout the way. Any questions whatsoever during the program, the phone number will remain here on the screen, 407-205-0400. Heck of a show in store for you today, but first, the opening statement. Let's be honest here, a lot of us are homeowners, and we know that that house is the biggest purchase we'll likely ever make in our lives. Yes, we might buy another one down the road, but at any current time, as a homeowner, it's the biggest investment, the biggest purchase we're going to make. So taking care of that house is super, super important, especially right now. We live in an environment where if you're selling your house or buying a house, it's a very competitive, sort of weird time. And certain things can really put you ahead of other sellers if you're looking to sell. And look, the roof is certainly one of them. The roof is the most important, in my opinion, the roof is the most important part of your house. It's the part of the house that keeps the rest of your house safe. It keeps your family safe, keeps you from getting mold, mildew. It's just super important. And we live in a time right now in this state where the insurance issue is a big one. Do I file a claim? Do I not file a claim? These are all very important questions, and questions that we're going to answer by asking real questions. Every week in here on the program, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Very happy to kick it off this morning with two of my good friends, Justin and Cory, Universal Roofing Contracting. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good, man.
I always say that you're some of my favorite guests on here, but I don't say that of everybody. It's literally you two. And Dan from our other buddies.
You're our favorite TV host.
Well, good. I appreciate that very much. Universal Roofing Contracting. Look, we all know that Florida is a transient state when it comes to roofers, I think, at times, because we have some of these storm chasers that come in from Alaska after a storm, and then it seems like they might stay around for a while, hang a shingle, or take people's money and leave and not do the work. So it's a scary state when it comes to roofing. I'm proud to have you guys on the show because people come up to me all the time and say, I saw Universal on your show, they did such a great job. So we're very proud to have you as part of the real fabric of this show. Here's what I see a lot, though. Not with you guys, but I have at my law firm, I have clients come in all the time and they're angry at the roofer. They're angry at the roofing company, and they'll give me sort of a scope of work that was provided to them, and it's handwritten. I don't know what it says. I don't know what kind of shingles they're getting. I think that scope of work, and what I tell people always is you need to be super careful at the beginning in reading everything, reading the details, especially that scope of work. At Universal, how seriously do we take that initial stage of giving a scope of work to the client, the customer?
So, I mean, absolutely seriously. In fact, we don't even let a job progress through our system until all of the details are pinned down. So when we sit down with you, you're going to know, what brand of underlayment, what brand of shingles is going on the roof. And, we use Owens Corning duration shingles on our roofs. You're going to know how many lineal feet of ventilation you're going to have on the roof, or what type of ventilation. And so what we're seeing is a lot of people that maybe have had other estimates will show us the scope of work from the other estimates, and it just says architectural shingles, or it just says flat roof.
Yeah.
And there's no description of what they're getting. And so what we're seeing homeowners buying roofs and they're getting a mix and match of product on their roof that voids warranties or is installed incorrectly, and it just doesn't, it's not made to work together. So at Universal, we put together a roofing system that is made to work together, and our clients know exactly what they're getting. So when the materials are dropped, before the start date, they are getting exactly what we put in that scope of work.
Got it. Whenever I have client or friend or whatever asking me, telling me they're about to make a purchase, that it's too much money for me to lose. And when I think of a roof, it's a big investment for some people, or a car. It's too much money to lose. They say, who should I hire to do it? And I say, you need to hire a company that also has too much to lose to try to screw you over. And that's Universal. Yeah. That is Universal Roofing Contracting. You've been around, over 30 years, I think. Yep. This is not a fly-by-night roofing company. This is a family business that's been around forever. Jacksonville Jaguars, the Orlando Guardians. Universal's, this is the real deal.
It is, man. We've been around for 30 years doing this, and we've been taught and trained and certified by some of the best in the industry, and we can't hide from anybody. We're on your show. We host our own radio show. We're in your backyard. We are your local community roofer for the last 30 years, and we do so much charitable work and stuff like that, too. You're right. Our reputation is everything for us, and that's why we approach roofing the way that we do for every client that we meet and get in touch with. We just want to provide that service that's pretty much the same consistency across the board, so that there is no bad words out there, so that there is no mistakes that are going unnoticed.
There's one place that we go for any roofing question that you have. A QR code on the screen right now. Open up your phone, put the camera on it, and the QR code will take you right to Universal Roofing Contracting, or call the phone number on the screen as well, 407-205-0400. If you want to use Too Much to Lose on your radio show, you can. It's not mine. I don't have a trademark. Feel free. Just popped in my head as we were talking.
Come on the radio show.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you need to invite me. We're all on the same text chain now, so text me anytime. And I started that, by the way. It took me reaching out to both of you via text instead of email.
I
figured you guys would have reached out.
To try to track your phone number. Like, you're such an important person,
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do call you. They know they need a new roof. They know that, but they don't know what they want. That design process at the beginning, I think, is super important because, again, we don't want to have leaks, but then once that roof's on there, we want it to look good as well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Roofs, we talk about it being boring. This is the fun. We're roof nerds. We drive around town looking at roofs and colors. And wonder what color that is. But having Owens Corning as a preferred partner with us and using their product and having so many different colors and designer colors and all that. Sitting down with a homeowner at their kitchen table when they've come to the decision point of actually doing the roof is really the most fun part. And, there's a lot of factors. What does it look like from the curb? What color is your house now? Are you going to paint it? Those kind of things. Mm-hmm. Also, as you talk a lot about with, the sellability of the house or any of those kind of things that comes into play. So, being able and doing it as long as we have, being able to make the house look as good as possible and figure out what gets people excited about a roof, as weird as that sounds, is a lot of fun. And we spend a lot of time doing that when we're with our clients.
Again, if you're thinking about selling your house anytime now to the next 3 years, and your roof is more than, say, 8 or 10 years old, you really need to have these guys come check it out, because I can't tell you how many times that we've been at the closing table with a client selling their house, about to get a big fat check, and they're like, ooh, nope, can't do it, have some roof issues. Back to the drawing board. Don't find yourself in that position. It's not worth it. QR code right here on the screen will take you right to Universal Roofing Contracting, or again, call the phone number. But again, that's what separates you guys. Is I in my head, I think of it as you coming in, sitting at my kitchen table. There are a lot of roofing companies out there that they're not even going to come to your house. They're literally going to get that aerial photo and say via email, this is what I'm going to do. It'll be 25 grand. That is the business model for some of these roofing companies, not you.
Not at all. There's so many things you do not see and that you miss from a satellite aerial measurement. You have to put trained eyes and feet on the roof so that you can see those little nuances, those dead valleys, that cricket that needs to be built, these little roof code items that have to be installed properly in order to pass inspections. Those are just things you miss on a typical aerial measurement, and ultimately it's doing the client a disservice, because now when you're in that build, well, that estimate didn't include for that, and now they're going to be hitting you on the back end for all of those things that they missed on the front in order to make the roof pass inspections and be up to code. So really, getting feet on the roof, and that way we can on-site build a scope that's going to fit all the needs and specifics to your home, your house at that day and time, so that you can have a much more proper decision to make there.
Let's be honest with each other for a minute. We all have homeowners insurance. It's super expensive now. And maybe we did have a storm. We'd rather send it to insurance as opposed to paying ourselves. We would. That makes sense, okay? But we're not committing insurance fraud. I'm just saying you have insurance. If the insurance policy covers it, that's what we want to do. Are you going to help me, though, when you come talk to me? Are you going to help me sort of determine to maybe I should send it to insurance versus not? Like, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we're trained in storm damage. We understand what we're looking for. We know what the insurance company looks for. A lot of homeowners are kind of under a misconception of what storm damage is.
Right.
You know, they might see some granules in their gutters or something and think that's storm damage. That could very easily be wear and tear,
Right.
you know, or just the age of the roof. You need somebody that knows what they're doing to walk your roof and identify if there's creased, missing, or torn shingles, or if there's hail impact marks, things that the insurance company is going to deem as storm damage. If we see that, then certainly we're going to tell you about our insurance process, and that would be a great reason to file a claim. If we don't see that, we're going to give you an honest assessment of how much life is left on the roof and what the game plan is from that point. But certainly we're not going to steer somebody to just call your insurance company just because, you know.
And let's say that we're pretty sure it's not going to be an insurance job at all. It's going to be something I'm going to have to pay for. A lot of people don't have 20 or 30 grand sitting around in their bank account to just stroke that check. What other options do I have at that point?
Sure. Yeah, we have financing options for anybody that we don't want to put people in a corner to where they can't afford their lifestyle because of their roof,
Right.
you know. And so we have financing options, some of them with no interest, some of them for monthly payments, and obviously it's something we sit down and get you approved for and walk through the process. We also have payment plans on a retail level as well that kind of just spell out the duration of the job and everything too. So we will work with the homeowner on that every single time.
If you need a new roof, you need a new roof, ladies and gentlemen. You can't let that go for very long, because then you're going to do so much damage to the rest of your house. It's going to become a way bigger job than just a roof job at that point. Cory, good to see you, brother. Justin, good to see you.
Absolutely.
I'll be waiting on the text for the appearance on the radio show pretty soon, I hope.
Got it.
These guys will be happy to come out and see you again. No charge whatsoever. Let's see what your roof looks like today, what you need. They're going to give you an honest assessment. There's no one else we turn to when it comes to roofing in Central Florida. The QR code is on the screen, or call 407-205-0400. Quick break, stick around. You Have Real Estate will continue.
You can be an agent that struggles to get ahead in the competitive real estate world, or you can learn from the best and achieve success. Visit youhaveafutureinrealestate.com and sign up for the Jumpstart program. Get coaching tips and important tools that will help you jumpstart your real estate career. Sign up today and get 10% off your Jumpstart program when you use code word LEARN. Visit youhaveafutureinrealestate.com today and gain the real estate knowledge you need to succeed.
Welcome back to the program. Look, I know there's been so much news out there lately about the economy collapsing, the real estate market is collapsing. You know I do this show for a reason. I do the show to sit here and talk to you every week about what is literally going on in the trenches in Central Florida every single week. And you know I don't lie to you. I tell you exactly what I see, right? I'm in the real estate world. I'm a lawyer, yeah, but I live in this real estate world, and I come here every week to tell you what is actually going on. I am bullish on this market. I'm certainly bullish on this state. I am not scared. We are not going to see any sort of epic collapse in this real estate market. Could it come down a little bit? Sure it could. Is it leveling out already? Of course it is. But you see things on the news that everything's going to hell in a handbasket. Let me tell you something. Florida right now is set up for a huge rebirth. Not that we even needed one. Florida is on fire. Let me tell you something. Florida is on fire. You're lucky to live here right now. So happy to be joined. Repeat visitor Mike Jackson. Mike, how are you, sir? Good to see you.
I'm good.
LPT's in the house. Mike's in the house. And for the first time, Kevin Cahill's here. Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
We see all these price reductions around the world, nationwide. Even in Florida, they're reducing prices. They are reducing prices because we have bred a society right now in the real estate market where people are throwing any price against the wall over the last couple of years and sometimes getting it. So of course they had to be price reductions. What are you seeing out there right now?
You're seeing a little bit of everything. You're seeing, I think, a little bit of what we had before, where certain properties, certain areas, they're still going off the market fast.
Yeah.
And then you have some areas. I've seen more of the Airbnb market, where 3 years ago when you had that frenzy, everyone wanted to get in Florida. They wanted a little bit of New York, but a little bit of Orlando too. That market, I've seen the Davenport, Kissimmee area, I've seen a lot more listings kind of stay a little longer, be a little more stagnant, and some price drops.
Got it.
But in your areas like Winter Park and Windermere, some of the more popular areas, you're still seeing a decent amount of what you saw a year or two ago.
I think it's certainly still a seller's market. So you're going to hear all these things about things are changing big time, and they are. It was unhealthy. I mean, the buyer could not buy anything over the last couple of years. It was very difficult. So I still think it's a seller's market, just a little bit more of a healthy market. Now, speaking of on fire, LPT, Mike, on fire. You guys are killing it over there.
Yes.
How was, a couple weeks ago, you had the big event in St. Petersburg. How was it?
Yeah, the Grand Prix was awesome. A lot of my coworkers went there. I wasn't able to attend, but a lot of my colleagues said I missed it, and I know I did. I saw the pictures. I was like, man, it's amazing, especially for new realtors that are coming into the business, or realtors that are currently at a brokerage that are hearing about LPT, and they're being able to see a lot of the benefits that agents are getting.
Yeah, but you're obviously a fantastic agent, down in the trenches, like I said, working every day. I mean, what are you seeing with this market? When you start to level it out, what do you see happening?
Yeah, great question. So what I'm seeing a lot of, Justin, to be honest, is that there's a lot of concerns out there from the public, and they're saying rates are high right now, but what they don't understand is, historically speaking, the rates are actually normal, because historically speaking, rates have been about 8%. So when they went down to 2%, that was a unique time. That's not the norm. So they're just correcting and resetting itself, and they're going back to what they normally would have been. So I always tell people, look, when the rates just climb a little bit more and it's back to normal, not super high, however they perceive it, the prices are dropping drastically, which means the prices are more affordable. So those buyers that were overspending back during COVID time last year, you could just shift your buyers to maybe a first-time home buyer or a college kid who's looking to graduate college and get their home. There's always buyers and sellers out there. So I just encourage people to be educated on the market, get with a realtor who specializes in this, and understand that it's never a bad time to invest.
What I think we're not talking about, and we really should, you'll hear it here first, is that I think in the 1960s or something like that, South Beach was going crazy. All these old people were moving to Miami, and wow, Florida took off. We're seeing that again right now. I believe Florida is taking off. Call it politics, call it warm weather, call it taxes, whatever you want to call it. Florida, I think, is having a huge growth period right now. Kevin, what do you say?
I totally agree. And if you're my client, you're going to be like, oh my God, Kevin's told me this a million times. But this is literally what I tell my clients. I try to look at real estate as simple as I can. Mm-hmm. Don't overthink it. And it's worked for me. And that's what I tell my clients. Look at United States as a whole. You've got 3 states that have coastline pretty much all along the state, good weather, and good weather, beach, what do you call it? Beach around the state,
Right.
Good weather, and it goes California, Texas, and Florida. California, to me, is already overpriced a little bit. So then you've got Texas. Texas is great. We've seen a lot of people coming from north to Texas as well. It's one of the top 5 states in migration. But then you've got Florida, which I think is number one, because you've got the best beaches out of the 3. And also, I think a lot of people, especially in the East Coast, are a big fan of our politics here. And it's just all of those kind of circumstances are leading towards why Florida is going to be a leader in people moving here.
And of course, no state income tax. Yeah. We all know that. But if you look at the list of the 50 states and what the property taxes are in each state, we're not even at the top of that. We have no state income tax, but also property taxes here. While yes, they go up, we're still very, very good when it comes to national.
Absolutely,
Mike?
Absolutely. And to add on to that, Justin, and what he was mentioning too, we have a ton of different types of real estate. So with property taxes, when people see the Airbnb potentials, like on the beaches, as you were mentioning, or just any type of short-term rental near the Disney area, there's just so much opportunity. And Orlando is unique because we have a lot of room to still grow. Unlike some other cities in those states that you were naming, they're kind of capped out with brand new homes. They have to build way further out. Orlando still has a ton of room to grow, and we're talking about, and then you still have builders and developers here looking at the next 10 to 15 years. We have the Bright Line train coming soon to Orlando and being able to commute. So Florida's just so hot right now, and it's just going to continue to stay hot. So
and Orlando's right in the middle of it all,
Yeah.
which is great. You know, being centrally located in one of the fastest growing states in the United States is huge. So we've got that going for us too.
Kevin, good to see you, buddy. Thanks
Thank
for coming
you.
on. Mike,
Appreciate
always a
it.
pleasure to have you on.
Appreciate it.
Open invite, as always, as you know. Look, if you live in Florida right now, I remain bullish on Florida. Don't be afraid of this real estate market. Is it changing? Is it evolving? Yes, it is. But people are moving here left and right. If you don't believe me, I urge you to do one thing. Get in your car, drive from Orlando to Tampa on I-4, and call me when you're sitting in traffic in Polk County and you're yelling. Call me and say, Justin, you were right. Try that I-4 between Orlando and Tampa. You have real estate we'll consider.
Did you know that filing for bankruptcy can help you lower your mortgage or car payments or potentially help you eliminate your IRS or credit card debt? I'm attorney Justin Clark. If you find yourself living paycheck to paycheck, call me now or visit youhavepower.com for a free consultation.
Welcome back to the show. A final segment today. Very happy to be joined by two amazing agents. I've got Karen Villegas. Hi, Karen. How are you? Jose Reyes joins me. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Justin. Thank you.
So let's talk about real estate here for just a moment, because you guys have been in real estate a little over a year, I think now. So you wanted that career change into something that you could really control your own destiny, so to speak. And real estate is that in certain ways. But some people think it's easy. Some people think, oh, you know what, I'm going to get rid of my boss and I'm just going to go make $1 million and work on Saturdays, that's it. It takes a little bit more of a commitment than that, does it not, Karen? How committed do you have to be a successful agent?
Definitely 100% committed to it. You work, like when you start, you literally work from beginning as soon as you wake up all the way till it comes out to be like 10 at night, you're still receiving calls.
Yeah.
So you have to be extremely committed and make sure that you're there, because it's not an easy job, and it's stressful as well.
It sure is. Jose, I was playing golf a year or so ago with a buddy of mine. He's a pilot for Southwest, and he's like, yeah, brother, as soon as I land the plane, I don't think about it again for 3 or 4 days until I go back to the airport. Literally, once they land, they don't think about their job ever again. Real estate, not so much.
No, it's definitely something you think about 24/7. It's like you said, some people think they're just going to get rid of their boss and they're just going to make millions of dollars right away, but it's definitely something you have to work at. Some people get really frustrated because at the beginning you don't see that paycheck coming in.
Yep.
You know, that's something that it's kind of a hard realization. You know.
Sure.
Every 2 weeks you're not getting that paycheck. You definitely have to go out there and work from the moment you wake up, like Karen said, to the moment you go to sleep, because you're dealing with a lot of different cases. Everybody's scenario is totally different, so you got your high points and your low points. It's just something you have to deal with.
When we think about real estate in general, many of you are thinking about buying a house or selling a house right now, and you get skewed, I think, in many ways because you see national headlines about the real estate market crashing or price reductions nationally. I think we need to be cautious together here as a team that we are not living in California. We are not living in Montana. Florida is different. Okay, when it comes to real estate right now, Florida is its own little bubble, and Central Florida as well. Karen, Central Florida is becoming a real destination for people to move to. Whereas even when you think about the 60s, you think of Miami and this whole influx of people coming to Miami. Central Florida is becoming a place to be, is it not?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Especially if you look now after Hurricane Maria, I've been here in Central Florida for 6 years. Yeah. And after Hurricane Maria, you've seen a lot of a difference. It's been more populated more than ever. And that's, I guess it's also Disney, you know, you have Disney, you have so many things that people actually wants to come and look for. If you have a big family.
Absolutely. And Jose, you see people moving here from not just other parts of Florida, not just from other parts of the United States, but internationally as well. Central Florida is becoming a place to go to. Where are you seeing buyers coming from now?
It's from all parts. I mean, you definitely get a lot of investors from California, from New York, wanting to buy down here. Florida's definitely become one of the third most expensive states to live in, and one of the more popular states to live in. And you have the theme parks, you have a lot of growth within the area, especially in the St. Cloud area, Winter Garden area. Got a lot of people from other countries from like South America coming over here to invest as well.
How do you see the rest of the year? What do you think? Are the prices going to go up, down, sort of stay the same? What do you think?
It all depends. You know, the interest rates are going up and down. It's definitely a roller coaster ride when it comes to interest rates. That's what everybody's kind of afraid of, right? And hesitant to buy because of that. Right. But it's a balance. You know, if the interest rate goes down, prices of the homes are going to go up. If the interest rates stay up, they might just kind of plateau at some point.
You know, one of the decisions buyers, Karen, have to make is, do I buy a house that has already been lived in, or one of these new construction type places? I know you have some experience with new construction. How does someone make a good decision, whether it's an existing home or new construction?
I think it all depends of what what you want and see. Because if you get a new construction, you have all this stuff that already, like, how can I put it?
You can. I mean, I think with new construction, first of all, it's new, and you can, but you still can kind of help decide what goes in there.
Yes, and then you have already the warranties, and you could design however you want it. Compared to an already used, it's different because it's whatever you see and that's it. Right. You have to put money in to change it or to do anything or fix it up.
Are we seeing a lot of delays with new construction now, or is it coming along?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of delays lately. Some of them are actually moving in faster, but we've been seeing a lot of delays in some of the developers.
What are some of the scary things for buyers right now? So when you're working with a buyer, they're saying, you know, I know I want to buy, but I'm not sure. What are some of the fears that buyers have right now?
Right now, it's mostly interest rates. Okay. That's what we're seeing. Everyone has a friend who gives them a lot of advice. They don't have a real estate license, and unfortunately, they don't have the knowledge that someone who is licensed would have in order to guide them. The interest rates are high, but you got to think about it this way. You can buy your house at the interest rate that it has today in the market, but you lock down the price of the house. A few years from now, that rate goes down. You refinance to the price that you bought the house today, not at the value at the market. And in the meantime, you are getting equity on that home.
I totally agree. And if you look historically, interest rates now are still good historically. I mean, we were in 17, 18% at some point in time. And yeah, I know that it was 2% a couple of years ago, 2.5%, but still where we are now historically is fine. And you know, you're not necessarily buying this interest rate anyway. There are things you can do to lower it. I'm bullish on this market still. Karen, what a pleasure it was to see you here in person. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Jose, you guys, best of luck. I know you're going to kill it out there. I'm always here for you if you need to. But come back and see us on the show. How was that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Good to see
Thank you so much for having me.
Most importantly, as always, thank you for joining me this weekend and every weekend. If you want to get pre-approved and help on that interest rate, Dallas Lehman standing by right now at the phone number on the screen, 407-205-0400. I mean it. I'm bullish on this market. I would buy in this market all day long. I'm bullish on Florida. I'm bullish on Central Florida. Thank you to our amazing team here, but thank you. We'll see you again next week for more You Have Real Estate.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. If you're in debt and find yourself living paycheck to paycheck, call me now or visit youhavepower.com today.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.